Hello, everyone, and welcome to our vigil for the Transgender Day of Remembrance. I'm Kat, and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm really glad to be able to provide this space. When we were talking about doing this, we generally were disappointed that we weren't able to have more foresight when it came to, and forethought when it came to planning today and um, getting the word out and having it be an even more complete space for what the day deserves. Um, we decided that if even one person is benefited from this space being held, that would be worth it. So if even one person drops by at some point today and finds solace in the fact that we decided to have this, finds peace within a single moment of the meditation that I will be holding. I'll be holding 2 sessions of meditation during this time. If anyone feels touched by the reading of the names or the silence that I'll be holding, then it's worth it. So, um, currently, no one is watching live, but this will also be on for later. So, I hope that if you are watching it and you feel like partway through someone that you know would benefit from this, um, please share. I know there's a lot going on around the country and hopefully the world today to to hold space for today and for all the trans people whose lives we've lost because they've been murdered. Um, and so I think that's wonderful, and I really hope that anyone out there who needs it, whether they know it or not, is finding that space. I know I'm feeling a bit uneasy personally right now. Um, this session that I'm holding is very important to me. I think it's important in general. I know that Karen, the founder, feels the same way. That it's very important, and so I feel like I would like to be doing this right by all of the lives that we've lost. This is not about gifting pride, so this is pretty much all I'm going to say about it. But I'm with the organization Gifting Pride. If you want to know more, www.giftingpride.com. Check us out. We have a video. Check us out on YouTube. You can watch a lot of the events that we've had, as well as videos about us. Thank you to Wax Simile Productions, as well as thank you so much to the I Need Space Music Festival. They have been invaluable in allowing us to use StreamYard for events like this. So thank you to those people. And thank you, a personal thank you from me to the trans people in my life, the trans and non-binary people in my life, and anywhere in between, for being such great people, for all of you being exemplary members of society, and showing me personally just yet another way to be as a person and to appear in society. So thank you to you. And before we do a little bit of a grounding meditation, um, and this one, even if no one's watching, even just with me, is even just for me, this is totally worth it. And I remembered just now that I'm supposed to be sharing this with my girlfriend. Oopsies. Here we go. Sorry, babe. Sorry, I forgot. Lots going on these days. Lots going on today, but I think it was really important to make time and space for this event. And then before I move on to talking a little bit about relevant stuff, I want to put up this banner. This is basically if you would like to donate to the Marsha P. Johnson Foundation, um, who's basically our founding mother in many ways of pride, and really led the fight at Stonewall. We have a lot. We have her to thank for a lot of what we have today as queer population and trans population. So if you would like to donate to that foundation, who continues in her name to do many amazing things for the trans population and the trans people of color population, you can scan this QR code right here. You can go to this link if you want, but it just will take you straight to the donation. So it doesn't have anything to do with us, other than that we're putting it out there. But if you want a quick way to scan and donate today is a great day to do that. Any day is a great day to donate to the Marsha P. Johnson Foundation. So I'm going to leave that up there for you. And yeah. We have 2 people watching, at least as far as I can tell. Wonderful. Welcome. So before I do go into a little bit of a grounding meditation, I want to talk a little bit about some of the statistics from transrespect.org, and just to kind of reiterate why this day is needed. So in 2020, so far, 350 trans and gender diverse people were murdered, 6% more than in 2019. 98% of those murdered globally were trans women or trans feminine people. 62% of murdered trans people whose occupation is known were sex workers. People of color make up 79% of the 28 trans people murdered in the USA. 11 trans people murdered in Europe. 50% were migrants. 82% of all the murders registered happened in Central and South America. 43% in Brazil. 38% of the murders took place on the street and 22% in their own residence. The average age of those murdered is 31 years old, the youngest being 15 years old. And just a little blurb about this from them. Gathered data shows an alarming trend of a gradual increase in murders of trans and gender diverse people per year between 2008 and 2020. However, these figures are not complete due to data being systematically collected in most countries, added to the constant misgendering by families, authorities, and media. It is not possible to estimate the number of unreported cases. As a consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as growing racism and police brutality, the lives of trans and gender diverse people are at even greater risk. Data is a testimony of how COVID-19 is disproportionately impacting trans people worldwide, especially those most marginalized, such as Black and women of color, sex workers, migrants, youth, and poor. Behind the statistical representation of numbers and percentages, there are people whose lives we value and who we as societies fail to protect. Aggregated data indicates that Black and migrant trans women of color are more vulnerable and frequently targeted. Social stigma and criminalization of sex work expose trans sex workers to abuse, exploitation, and violence. At the same time, those groups are repeatedly silenced and underrepresented within our communities and societies. Although COVID 19 affects us all, social differences and inequalities are deepened by the pandemic, emphasizing gaps in lack of legislation and systemic protection of trans and gender diverse people. If you want even more information, you can go to transrespect.org. I'll go ahead and put that in the comments. Transrespect.org, which is it's a great URL. So that's where I'm getting those numbers. I think that's generally where a lot of people do, and you can see that this day continues to be incredibly important. This day is, we go about our lives, and most of us don't think about this on a daily basis. Most of us don't have to. Most of us don't think about this often. And this is a day that, even if you don't, it's a reminder that a lot of people really do every day. It's a part of their everyday reality. So this is an incredibly important day. So thank you for joining me today. Okay. As I said, I'm a bit nervous about this. It is so important, and I just don't want to mess it up. I want to do right by all these people that we've lost. So forgive me if I stutter a little today. Okay, let's go ahead and get into a little grounding meditation. I invite you to find a seat that is nice and comfortable. If you wear glasses, you're invited to take them off. I'm going to keep them on just so that I can see the things if I need to. So find a nice, comfortable seat, and remember, when we're seated, our sits bones become our feet. We don't need to hold on with our feet any longer, or our legs. We can give them a rest. So go ahead and deepen your breath. And on every exhale, for these first exhales, I want you to release the forehead, release the eyes, release the jaw. And on these next 3 breaths, I want you to release the shoulders, release the chest. Give yourself a nice little shoulder roll if that's helpful to you. Feel the heart lifted and the shoulders nice and released on every exhale. And on these next 3 exhales, I want you to bring your attention to your abdominal area, to your trunk. And really, on every exhale, release your abdominals. If it's a passive exhale, you don't need them. Release your lower back. Notice the curvature in your lower back. Are you kind of reversing the curvature that's natural, or are you arching your back and making it exaggerated? So release all that you can. Next 3 exhales. And now let's move to the glutes and the leg area. Let's go all the way down to your ankles, so not quite your feet. Same thing, really notice, are you holding on to any of those muscles in that area? And on the next 3 exhales, let them go and let them become pools. And finally, release the feet. On every exhale, allow your toes to be wide and your arch to be grounded and the 3 corners of your feet to be planted nice and gently on the ground. And as you continue to notice your breath and allow it to continue to free itself up, on every exhale, I want you to imagine roots growing out of every part of you that is touching the ground or the chair that you're in. Growing deeper and deeper with every exhale. And as we move into our 350 seconds of silence to honor the 350 trans people that we've lost this year around the globe, I invite you to honor them by being present. Their presence is lost to us today, but yours is not. You're still here. Celebrate your presence and your ability to be present by continuing to sit with the breath. And every time your mind wanders off, bring it back to your breath. Bring it back to growing those roots and feeling your connection to the earth that our trans siblings now belong to. So I'm going to start the timer now, and I'm going to mute myself so you don't have to be disturbed when it goes off. Thank you for sitting with me and for honoring each person that we know of with a single second. Each of those seconds is an entire life. It's hard to take that time right now. It's hard to sit through just 5 minutes and 50 seconds. The world feels like it needs us to rush and everything needs to hurry and happen right now. So I encourage you this week, if you're ever I think I lost everyone at this point. No one's here anymore. That's okay. This week, if you're ever feeling rushed, I imagine a lot of you in the United States will be doing some sort of Thanksgiving thing. If you get a moment where you say you're gonna have food on the table at 2 p.m. and it's 1:50 and it's not going to happen and it's clear, remember to cherish every moment and that life is not about being on time. Maybe take that moment to remember some of the lives. So, even though right now it's just me, uh, it makes me kind of wish that I couldn't see like how many people were watching, aka like 0. Oh, someone just joined me. That's great. Welcome. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and say the names that we know. Many of the names we don't know, and my guess is that it says NN for I think no name because we don't know the name that they preferred. We don't know the name that they actually went by. But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and we're just gonna go through them, and I'm gonna do my best to pronounce these. Most of the trans people who were murdered this year came from Brazil, and the second and third spot were Mexico and the United States. So I'm going to do my best with the pronunciation. Thank you for your grace in advance. So these name cards are also from transrespect.org. So if you want to find it, that's where you can. Okay. So we've got some new names in Brazil. Paula Araujo, Ronnie Goncalves, Soledad Fernandez, Michelle Almeida, La Diva, Vidalia Molina Delgado, Julia, Deborah Carranza, Hamza. Someone from El Salvador. Romanique, Brazil. Michelle Pfeiffer, Brazil. Lorena Vicente, or Vicente. Brianna B.B. Hill, United States. Lina Marcela Jimenez Granados from Colombia. I.D. Da Silva, someone from Mexico. Chico Chirinos, Anahi Miranda Rivas, Bruna Suarez, someone from Mexico. Another one from Mexico. Paula Santos. Jade Camila Diaz. Brigitte Miron. Perrita. I'm going to do my best. Oh, age 15. Define Kawane. I hope that next year I have some friends who are Brazilian and members of the LGBTQIA plus community, and I hope to get them on here so that they can properly pronounce some of these names next year. Michelle in Mexico. Gisela Corvalan. Monica de la Torre. Jerica Rivas Ruiz. Victoria Pineda. La Pompis. Sarita. Pedrita. Carol. Coral. Rafaela Sales. Isabeli Prado or Belli. Yeah. Monica Coelho. Alejandra. We don't know their name. From Mexico. Rosa Granados, El Salvador. Someone from Mexico. Ufa Alava. EL. Sweden. Nicole. Marcela Brandina. Veronica del Oliveira. Rorana Martins dos Santos. Nikki Kuhnhausen. Someone whose name we don't know, from Mexico. Jahaira Nesby. Christy Conde Vasquez. Kendall. 19. Someone in Canada. Whose name we don't know. Andrea Nayei. Julie Berman from Canada. Luciana Robledo. Alice Nobrega. Mia Perry. Ellie Pimentel. Dustin Parker. New Year's Day. Nare Mfela from South Africa. Jennifer Avila. Selena Peik Soto. Sapna. India. Someone we don't know in Mexico. Andresa. Victoria dos Santos. Someone we don't know in Brazil. Hans Acevedo. Brenda Landazuri. Giselle Catrine, someone we don't know in Brazil. Husara Rios, someone whose name we don't know in Brazil. Tamara in Russia. Paulina, Brazil. Someone we don't know in Venezuela. Kimberly McRae, Australia. They're 69. Someone we don't know in Mexico. Brigitte Michelle Alas. Fabiola Ana Clara Lima. Someone whose name we don't know in El Salvador. Ajita Bugel, Nepal. Hilary Medina. Leticia. Morgana Ribeiro. Someone we don't know in Colombia. Shakira. Someone whose name we don't know in Brazil. Bruna Oliveira. Vieira, I think. I'm going to try to get that right by the end. Mari de Bastos Lima. Someone whose name we don't know in Mexico. Widila Brenner Darak. Roberta Barbajal. Isabelle Kost. Someone whose name we don't know in Mexico. Samantha Do Valle. Guadalupe. Joyce Berlim. Dorete Lopez Leal. B. Mimbela del Aguila. Sabrina Sampaio. Valera, I'm not sure. Nicole. Tabata Oliveira Beira Bruce. Mamta, India. Nenem, Brazil. Katarina Ariel, someone whose name we don't know in Brazil. Isabella Oliveira. Monique Natias Chagas. Bruna Carla. Richeli Silva, someone whose name we don't know in Mexico. Lara Argento, Italy. Gabby, Brazil. Gabriele van der Guel. Jessica Sarmiento, France. So. Bruna Andrade. Maria Eduarda Aires Diaz. Alexa Urder, someone in Brazil whose name we don't know. Someone else is in Brazil whose name we don't know. La Chachis or La Tocha. Ali Mamani Wamani. Menu, India. Alexia Fieres Pereira. Alexa Negron Luciano. Yampi Mendez Arrocho, Carly Sasha Chinina Palomino, Patsy Andrea Tita, El Salvador, S. Coronel Guerrero Talita, Brazil. Ludmila Nacimiento dos Santos, Isadora, someone whose name we don't know in Mexico, someone whose name we don't know in Brazil, Stephanie Cardona Matias, Valeria Belan, someone whose name we don't know in Mexico, Vigi, India, Monica Diamond, Rafienha Pimenta, Brittany, Paloma, La Marquesa, Kelly, Daniela Sauceda, Carla Valentina in Mexico, Naomi Nicole La Soñare, someone in Brazil whose name we don't know, Lexi, United States, someone in Mexico whose name we don't know, someone in Mexico whose name we don't know, Luisa Sandoval Lemus, Jennifer Alcantara, Fabiola Pereira Andrade, Raika Franca, Musa, Pakistan, 15. J.F. do Nascimento Martins, Mira, Indonesia. Someone in Brazil whose name we don't know. Someone in Brazil whose name we don't know. Sasha Santos, Ana Karen Velasco Castellan, Joanna Metzger, Luana Alves, someone in Mexico whose name we don't know. Leca do Beral, Penelope Diaz Ramirez, Paloma Salas Jimenez, Mafer Marbella Santos, someone in Mexico whose name we don't know. Leticia, 18 years old, Brazil. Oscar, Mexico. Laila Palais Sanchez, Serena Angelique Velázquez Ramos, Eduarda, Brazil. Someone in Brazil whose name we don't know. Leto, Brazil. Indy Alberto, Argentina. Natasha Lobato, Diamante, Mexico. Mariane Andreoli, Jade, or maybe Jade dos Santos, Fernanda de Souza Paiva, Nina Pop, someone whose name we don't know in Brazil. Luz Clara, Honduras. Hella J. O'Regan, Teresa C., Mexico, Teresa, Fabia Oliveira, someone whose name we don't know, from Brazil. Heerawas, Pakistan. Jane Thompson, someone whose name we don't know, from Mexico. Someone whose name we don't know, from Brazil. Robertina Santos, Harina, India. Paula, Brazil. Someone whose name we don't know in Brazil. Jesusa Fidel Ventura Reyes. Someone whose name we don't know in Mexico. Carlota, something sure. Oh, in Brazil, excuse me. Carlota, Nicaragua. Tony McCade, United States. Chris Laibe, de Manaus. Alejandro Monocuco. Michael, Mexico. Fernanda Antelo, Bolivia. Selena Reyes Hernandez. Valentina Ferretti. Jade, Brazil. Grampola, Brazil. Kayla Nunes. Luani Kel. Ria Milton. Oh, excuse me, Ria Milton, United States. Dominique Remy Fells. Kelton, Brazil. Essie Grandland, Finland. Ariadna Ojeda. Brian Egypt Powers. Paulina, Brazil. Ariadna, Colombia. Brandy Carolina Brown, Colombia. Marcia Chocana Bastos da Silva. Ayus Mamadli, Azerbaijan. Imar Sarabia, someone whose name we don't know, from Brazil. Babalu, from Brazil. Brayla Stone, 17, United States. Anel Valenzuela. Lady Gaga, Brazil. Marceli Souza, or Marceli, Brazil. Fernanda Machado, someone whose name we don't know, from Brazil. Aileen Catalina, Veronica Ferreira Lima. Mercy Mack. Shaki Peters. Vicky Dos Santos. Vida Borges de Melo. Bree Black. Yandra Caroni Santos. Mateos Lopez Mejia, excuse me. Summer Taylor, someone from Colombia, whose name we don't know. Kaushik Sunil Narayan Kar. Carlo Eleuterio da Silva. Lady Padilla Daza. Scarlett Cáceres. Cristal Romero Matos, Soraya Oliveira, Marilyn Cazares, Tiffany Alves Medeiros, Leona Bombom from Brazil, Rihanna Mabeli Spanik, Manuela de Casia, Stephanie Dior, Pablo Ivan F, Monique Martinez, Exxon Velez, Tiffany Harris, Dorothy Balbino de Lima, Quisha D. Hardy, Denise Torres, Cristal Lopez, Aja Raquel Ron Spears, Rayana Rodriguez Dos Reis, Jocelyn, Guatemala, someone whose name we don't know in Brazil, Brenda Venegas Aiquipa, Luisa Avila, and now someone from Brazil whose name we don't know, someone else from Brazil whose name we don't know, Samira Paloma, Brazil, someone from Brazil, 15 years old, whose name we don't know, Alice Garrefa, Brigitte, Mexico, Leticia Costa, Brazil, Vanessa Solorzano, Key Sam, Barbara Ellen, Samantha Rosales Barrios, Anushka, India, Bhavani, India, Francesca Galatro, Emily Taylor, Pia, Pakistan, Dani Rodriguez, Brazil, Patricia Dumont, Julie Torres, Mexico, Claudina Leite, Bernadette, Brazil, Bernadette, Lorena Maria del Lujan Riquel, Laura Redfed, someone from Argentina whose name we don't know, Isabella Pedroso, someone from Mexico whose name we don't know, Anguri, Pakistan, Brazil, Brittany Jacqueline, Brandy Cortez, someone from Mexico whose name we don't know, Janine Huerta Lopez, Nita Chowdhury, Pakistan, Branca Aldama, Melody Barrera, Brenda Levy, someone from Mexico whose name we don't know, Mireya Rodriguez, Chiara Duarte, Brazil, Catherine Rosemary Duval, El Salvador, Gabriela Cruz Pimentel, Peru, Hector Joshi, India. Might be the first last name we've gotten from there. Leslie Alejandra Ferretti, Mexico. Giovanna Perez, Kathleen Aviles, Philippines. B.E. Alvarez Hernandez. Gul Parana, Pakistan. Saad, Pakistan. The student from Pakistan named Saad. Nem, Brazil. Someone in Brazil whose name we don't know. Susana Criado Anton. Hardiele Santos. Someone in Brazil. Mexico, whose name we don't know. Someone in Brazil whose name we don't know. Arian Burnett, United States. Barbier Macon. A.V., Dominican Republic. Brenda Sanchez. Juliana Gerardo Diaz. Sandra Beatriz Rangel. Sandra Beatriz Rangel. Francesca Cornejo. Mia Green. Raisa. Donna Niera, Philippines. Michelin Ramos Vargas. Michelle. Thank you again for sitting with me. I know that was a long list, and this has certainly extended beyond the originally intended half an hour. But each one of those names was a life, including the ones that we don't even know. And a lot of them, you know, they didn't even bother to try and find out their names or any much more about them. So for us to even take the time and acknowledge each one of those is important. So thank you again. Seeing as that we are approaching the hour, I'm going to not do Tonglen. I encourage you, I'm going to just put Tonglen in the chat. Encourage you to look it up. Pema Chodron. Let's see. Let's see. Pema Chodron. Oops. Pema. My bad. Sorry. Pema Chodron. Has said a lot of really great things about Tonglen, so that's what I would recommend. If you came in late and you would like to still do some meditation, go ahead and rewind this video. I'm not sure how far in, maybe about 15 minutes, 10-ish, 15 minutes into the video, into this stream, was when I did the first bit of meditation. So if you still are on here and you're just feeling like you still would like some meditation, and you missed the earlier meditation, I am going to go ahead and sign off here. But if you missed that the one earlier and you still would like it, it's around, I'm gonna guess around 15 in. You can tell because my eyes are closed. But thank you to those of you who did join me today. And if you're watching this later, it's never a bad day to remember the trans lives that we've lost. It's never a bad day to recognize. It's never too late. It's not, this isn't about having to be on a specific day, but holding space together in the world, in our country, in our community, um, for each other is so important. And so thank you for recognizing it. Um, and thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Um, and again, remember, we don't have to think about this every day. We take once a year too, but this is a reality for so many people around the world. So thanks again to the trans people in my life who have helped me to appreciate the realities of being trans and the beauty of it. So take care. Namaste. And see you next time. Please donate to Marsha P. Johnson Foundation if you would like. Um, they're doing some great stuff for the trans community as well as trans people of color. Take care.